Welcome everybody, my name is Karen Ridgers and I'm delighted to host this UK watch party of the new docu-series Eating Plants, the first of its kind to showcase the growth of plant-based living across the world. Thanks so much for joining us this Sunday afternoon to binge watch all of the whole 6 episodes. I'm so excited that we are getting to preview the series as it rolls out across television channels globally. I have worked with the Eating Plants creators and award-winning filmmakers Mick McIntyre and Kate Clare on their previous films. For this series, I was over the moon when they invited me to be part of the episode, so do watch out for me. You know, I've been vegan now for the past 25 years and it is hands down the best decision I've ever made. I've worked with VegFest UK, Veganuary, the Vegan Society, Viva and many other fantastic vegan companies to assist the UK people in their search for a healthier and kinder lifestyle for themselves and for the planet. This afternoon's programme begins with Eating Plants UK. Then we will pause for a Q&A with UK vegan actor, we all know from Made in Chelsea, the entrepreneur and writer Lucy Watson. Colette Fox from Pro Veg International, whose mission it is to reduce the global consumption of animals by 50% by 2040. And of course, our award-winning filmmakers, Mick McIntyre and Kate Clare. So after the Q&A, you can sit back and relax and binge watch the rest of the series. So let's get started.
There are so many reasons why this way of eating makes sense, not only for your health, for the environment, and of course the animals. Just think about it. Next time you make your food purchase, make it a plant-based one. It's really easy.
What a fun plant-based trip around the UK. Hello again, everyone. Well, many thanks to Lucy and the UK cast for such a fantastic job. And the comments are coming in as well, thick and fast. Well, look, I'm delighted to now welcome Lucy Watson, Colette Fox, and the co-creators, Mick and Kate. And we will jump straight into the Q&A. Welcome, everybody.
Hi, how you doing? Thanks.
Hi, really great. Buzzing from watching the shows. Absolutely stunning. Mind you, I'm not gonna bring up what I should be bringing up, but we'll talk about that later. Mick, first of all, I want to ask you, you know, great fun, entertaining, informative series. Mick, what inspired you to make this series?
Yeah, thanks, Karen, and thanks for hosting tonight so beautifully. And yeah, what a treat to watch the UK again. And look, Kate and I were so curious about what's going on in this space, this food space. And it was actually when we were distributing our last film, Kangaroo: A Love-Hate Story, that you mentioned a bit earlier, that we started to meet some of the people in the plant-based movement, and they alerted us to the growth of it, and they also alerted us that there wasn't really a TV series that explored it. So I think, so we started researching it, and once we started researching it, we were so inspired by what we found out. I mean, I think the first thing we did, Kate, was we Googled the top 10 vegan countries in the world, and so much information came up and so much new stuff that Kate and I didn't know. And we thought, boy, if we don't know this, then the average television viewer isn't going to know it either. So, yeah, that's how the journey began.
That's amazing. Kate, for you, what stood out filming the UK episode?
I had no idea. We've been to the UK for different things filming over the years, and, quite honestly, quite hard to find food. And suddenly Kazam, UK is like the vegan capital of the world. Felt like it just happened so quick. I don't know if that's what it felt like in the UK, but just from visiting it, I mean, honestly, there were like dozens of different stories we could tell, and it was really hard to just, because we made it a whole series, 6 different episodes. I think if you binge watch them all tonight, you'll see that they've all got something different, like the soccer team, or what about Clarice's amazing passion fruit beer tart? I mean, just so every episode has got like a real variety of meals and people to meet and people doing different things. So I don't know. I mean, there's so many great things. We had such a fun time with Lucy and just traveling around. And I mean, the radio show was really good. We had a lot of laughs at the radio show, and Jasmine Harmon was such a great sport to come on the show, and it was just fun. And I think we had a lot of fun in Britain, and it was really we actually work in a really small crew, and there's just 3 of us, and Lucy just we were jumping on and off trains. I think there was like a protest or something the day we were filming, and the roads were really jammed, and everyone just gave it their full shot to make it the best of series. And it's one of my favorite, and we've had a few cinema screenings. Sort of weirdly, we decided let's show it in the cinema, like a binge TV cinema screen. Brilliant. So we had them in Sydney and Melbourne last week, and people just love Britain. They love so many things about it, and like the beer and the football and the coffee. I don't know. It's just got such a great variety. I think it's super fun.
Oh, that's lovely. And comments are coming in, really fantastic comments. But I've got to say, there are people saying that they love mashed potato sandwiches. I don't know why people haven't picked up on my rice and pea sandwich yet. Which is equally as fabulous. But look, let's move on. Lucy, now, you are one of the UK's most influential spokespeople for veganism. And veganism, it's been changing so fast here in the past few years. So What changes have you noticed in the UK in our vegan space?
I mean, since I went vegan, probably, I think it's 6 years ago, it's been huge. The accessibility has grown enormously. It's gone from going to a restaurant and hoping that they have, a side salad and some fries, to pretty much everywhere I think that I go now, they've got something. The chef might come out and say, oh, hi, I know you're vegan, I could make this or whatever. People are so much more accepting of it. I think, people don't really have a choice but to accept it and embrace it. And that's really amazing. Also the supermarkets, they've really got on board. They've pretty much every supermarket, I think, in the UK has brought out a vegan range of some kind, and they've just grown and grown and grown over the years. And now it's just like, it's the options are endless. So it's been really exciting to see the change from going from, oh, will they have, a plant-based milk for my coffee, to you've got, 8 different options of milk, so it's pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing. I've got to say, because obviously I'm old school, so I've been doing this, a very long time, and, gone are the days where I used to have to carry my own milk with me, or take my own vegan cheese with me. So those days are long gone. I mean, Lucy, you must have loved filming the UK episodes. You got some amazing food. That delicious passion fruit tart. My tummy is just rumbling.
Oh my God.
Teriyaki vegan chicken. I absolutely want to try that right now.
Yeah.
And that herbaceous pancake with the Great British menu chef Kirk Howarth as well. Was it all as absolutely delicious as it looked?
It was mind blowing. It was, that passion fruit tart was just, I think I must have eaten quite a lot of that. And I didn't get to go to the pizza, to be honest, because that looked really good. But yeah, it was just, everything was so different. I think it just shows you that there are just, if you think about how many fruits and vegetables there are in the world and how much we can do with them, there's, when people say there's lack of flavors or options of vegan food, they're just crazy. This is showing people that the options are, amazing and available to us. So.
Well, you hung out with Kirk as well. Obviously,
Yeah.
enjoyed that beautiful looking. I love beetroots. I could just eat a whole tub of beetroots.
Same.
And I often do. But what tips did you pick up from Kirk?
I guess just it's all about flavor. I think especially when you start eating more vegan food, or when you go vegan, you realize that actually maybe your herb cupboard is looking a little bit sparse. And for me, I remember just investing into loads of different herbs and spices, and you can really make anything probably quite simple taste incredible with different flavors. And I think he showed that really well. But also his presentation was just amazing. And the way he just whipped up that aioli, I was like, oh my god, you could literally put that in a pot and sell it. It was just incredible.
That's the entrepreneur in you, Lucy, isn't it? we should team up for mashed potato sandwiches.
I haven't tried that one yet. I have to get back to you.
I like the way you say yet.
Yeah, never say never.
Mick, now the series is filmed in the UK, in China, Israel, USA, Germany, Australia. Now, I wondered, why did you pick these particular countries?
Yeah, well, I said earlier that researching, that's what came up. So basically we went for 6 of the top vegan countries in the world. And, we had to make the decision, and it was a process of narrowing it down to these 6. So that's what the research showed us. But then we had others in mind as well. So once you start researching it's what presents to us that what helps us make the decisions. And yeah, we had people coming forward, and that's what we rely on. So we had people coming forward telling us more about what's going on in each of the countries, and then we had to then we'd made a decision to have an individual host in each country, which was unusual. We got feedback that they wanted the same host, but we didn't. We wanted to have the local flavor, if you like. There was a pun. We wanted a local, feeling of that culture, and that's why we chose to use a host from each country. And so we sort of started to reach out about who they might be, and yeah, when things start to fall into place, that helps you make decisions. And I think I think we chose well, because I think the 6 countries you mentioned are really diverse, in their own way. And but yeah, the viewer can be the judge of that if they stick around and binge watch after this Q&A. But yeah, look, it was, and look, it's tough. It's tough to make decisions. Countries obviously got left off. But you have to. We had to stick to 6 episodes.
So, look, I want you to, just between you and I, Mick, don't let anyone else know, was the UK number 1?
Oh, that's a bit like saying, you mean in our choice, or in the research?
Not in the list that you first
well, look,
played.
for the sake of the audience, yes, Karen, it was. No, it's certainly up there. I mean, it's certainly in the top. It's certainly in the top 2 or 3 for sure. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Kate, I would like to ask you, do you have a favourite episode? No pressure, because, Lucy and I are here, Colette's here, no pressure. But was there a favourite episode for you?
Oh, well, look, I think one of the things about making, we sort of had this idea to make the food show, and it sort of became a travel show as well. And it was really beautiful to be in each country, and especially for the audiences now post-COVID who haven't really travelled. I think it really stands out that people all over the world have the same passion for the planet. They have the same passion for their health, and they have their same passion for the ethics around animals. And so just sort of watching it in sort of as an audience member now a little bit, I just sort of feel like that bonding is really special. You know, it's not so much, it doesn't actually feel like we're all individuals or all individual nationalistic countries. It just feels like we're this kind of team of people across the world who are working together, believing in a kinder planet, you know. And we met some really beautiful, I mean, basically everyone we met was fantastic. We just met people that wanted to make a difference, and they're doing it through food. And, you know, so that was amazing. I mean, of course, for me, I hadn't been to China before or Israel. And so for interest's sake, I really enjoyed going to those countries. They were interesting. Tel Aviv seemed like a kind of crazy cross between like sort of Rome and Mumbai or something. It was this great kind of Mediterranean chaos. And the people there were so enthusiastic, and you know, it's always been a really sort of one of the early adopters of the vegan lifestyle, and things that we didn't know in China was, you know, just how much they weren't eating any animal products until about the mid 80s. Well, they were eating a little bit, but like nothing like the West had been, and we learned that, you know, that really changed their lifestyle diseases really. They actually got our lifestyle diseases now in China, which wasn't happening before the 80s. They now have heart disease, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and cancer as their three major diseases from the diet. So, you know, the people we met there, and probably one of the highlights was going to an organic tofu farm there, which you'll see in the Chinese episode. So we learned how to make a traditional, I think they've been making tofu in China for about 1,000 years. And they use a real traditional method there. So, boy, I mean, I hope you get to watch all episodes because it is pretty interesting just to see what's going on.
That sounds amazing. Well, look, Colette, I'd love to chat with you as well. ProVeg, you know, has a very big vision, reducing the global consumption of animals by 50% by 2040. So I'd like to ask, how are you working towards that in the UK, and can you give us some figures?
Sure. So ProVeg UK is one of 9 country teams around the globe. We're working across 4 continents, all trying to achieve this objective. When we set out 5 years ago, it was we decided to focus on school food. So we run a program called School Plates, and essentially we're trying to get more plant-based food onto school menus throughout the UK. So we are working with about 2,500 schools currently. We're a tiny little team. That's about 350,000 children. And we have so far switched about 5 million meals from being meat-based to either meat-free or plant-based. And we're aiming to kind of massively grow that even just this year. And, you know, it's just kind of snowballing. So even since I have been working for ProVeg, which is just over a year, we've doubled the size of the program. We've got councils all over the UK who kind of know that they need to do this. I guess the main driver for them is climate change and the obesity crisis, with, you know, quarter of children starting school in the UK are either obese or overweight. And by the time they finish primary school, that's gone up to 35%. So, you know, there's massive drivers, but people just kind of aren't aware of this. So we simply work with councils, schools to try and just educate them about some of the basic facts and show them how to make great plant-based food for kids. So they've got that option every day when they go to school. And it's tasty and it's just as good as whatever else they're used to, getting them trying different ingredients and different dishes and loving it. So yeah,
I love that. I think that's so inspirational. And, you know, myself with my lifelong vegan son, I mean, he's now 16, and you know, I've lived through that, and it is a challenge for a parent. So that work just to me sounds absolutely inspirational. Colette, I wanted to ask you as well, what are you most inspired about in the plant-based movement that's happening right now in the UK?
I think, to be honest, the fact that it's becoming really normal. It's what we're trying to do in schools again, is just make this a normal thing, that it's not weird food or it's for particular peak groups like vegans. Anybody can have this. And I think, just, like Lucy said, the supermarkets, it's, restaurants, everywhere you go, you've got options now. So the fact that it's there and it's visible, and everybody's trying it. I'm vegan, but a lot of my friends aren't, but they're all trying it because they see me having it. And it's just a kind of, again, it's this snowball effect that it's spreading. It's just literally spreading across the world.
That's lovely. Well, look, Mick, we're all singing the praises. Comments are coming in, really positive. So hopefully we'll get the time to go through them. But I just thought there must have been some challenges as well as delight in producing this series. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, you'd have to be a little bit crazy, wouldn't you, to take on a series in 6 different countries? I mean, but, I put my hand up and say, yeah. I think, look, it is a bit like a military operation taking on something like this. And, yeah, there are challenges. And I suppose the best way to describe it is that not everything comes off. Not everything works. So there's a lot left either on the cutting room floor or just never even made it to the cutting room. So, and a lot of persistence. There's a lot of roadblocks along the way, and yeah, but it's our job to make it look good and look, but to counter that, the people that said yes and the people that were willing, and big shout out to Lucy for saying yes and being such a great host for the UK episode, because that's what we rely on, and we rely on the people being willing and generous with their time. But yeah, look, it is challenging, but we were, incredibly fortunate that we got most of the footage in the can before the pandemic. So, and then the Australian borders closed, so Kate and I couldn't even go and film anymore. So we literally were able to spend the lockdown here in Australia editing. So that, a stroke of very good fortune for us that we were able to spend that time constructively and now get to share it with the world. And with the feedback we're getting over this weekend of release around the world, is what a great time to have such a positive series to share with the world. And again, amazing timing for this project, and yeah, it is an amazing thing to be able to offer something positive at this time, and also to give people something that they can do without challenge them too much, but having such a positive effect on their health and the planet.
I love that. Well, look, I'm going to quickly go over to some of the comments. You guys may see some that jump out at you as well. Jason is saying oat milk is so good in coffee and tea, no gluggy top floating anymore. Not quite sure what that means. Chris is saying this is just making me feel very hungry. Greg is saying vegan restaurant chain, wow. Then we've got loads of love hearts from Cristiano, hopefully I've said that right. Greg again is saying give me that now. And somebody is saying, yes, mashed potato sandwiches. And mashed potato sandwiches is now becoming world famous. I better go and put a trademark on that or something. Jason is asking, will the UK be the most vegan country? I was there last week. Even in 2 years, it is significant and mainstream now. All of the supermarket chains have many options. Even the meat companies have gotten behind. Very true, Jason. I mean, I always say, when I look back to 30 years ago, I never struggled. However, the abundance now is mind-blowing. I mean, Colette or Lucy, do you have anything to add to that? You've got to unmute yourself, though.
Yeah, I agree. I think I do travel a lot. I'm very lucky to travel a lot, and I think what's great about the UK is that no matter kind of where you go, whether it's a really small village town or a big city, it does seem like vegan is known everywhere and everyone kind of has an option on their menu. And I think it's just, a collaborative effort and acknowledgement across the whole of the UK, which is really nice. Whereas maybe sometimes when you travel to other places, there might be like one or two cities that are really vegan friendly, and then other places that you go in that country, it's not as kind of, they're not as familiar. So I think, the UK definitely kind of leaps and bounds ahead of some places and leading the way, which is amazing. But there's always still more progress to be had, and I think it's great to live somewhere that is so advanced in terms of the vegan movement.
Lovely, I agree. Colette, anything you'd like to add to that?
I think it's just, shows like this really help. I mean, I went vegan because of a similar TV show on a famous streaming platform, which I'm sure has convinced lots of people to, give things a try, and it's kind of dispelling myths like is happening with the eating plants. Where do you get your protein from? All these things that you think, I could never do that because I'm not going to get all the nutrients I need, or it's going to be really difficult, it's going to be tasteless, it's going to be expensive. And there's just so much more awareness, which makes it, makes it easier for people to try it and think, oh, just, I'll have the vegan burger tonight when I go out instead of the beef, and think, oh, it tasted pretty good and I can get hold of it easily to recreate it at home. So I think it's just, the media awareness, we've got all the experts telling us this is kind of a key thing we can do to get to net zero. So that really helps. Yeah, and people start to just do it of their own accord because they know that this is a good thing to do.
Another question is, what makes the UK great for vegans? What is driving it? And I thought that's such an interesting question, because I would just add in, we've got fantastic campaigning groups. We've got Viva, we've got the charity, the Vegan Society, we've got Animal Aid, there's PETA, we've got VegFest UK, the biggest vegan festivals in Europe, which I'm delighted to do the promotion for as well as the presenting. We've got some passionate people here that have been campaigning for years and years. And I really feel that really does help driving it here in the UK. Shall I throw it open to anyone? What makes the UK good for vegans, but what is driving it?
I sort of think that too, like when we were there, I mean, it's obviously like the Bloomington, I can't remember, we read an article the other day where they think it's going to be a $162 billion industry in the next 10 years. So I just think that people are just interested now. I mean, one of the reasons we made the series was because people are just like, everyone knows a vegan. Everyone's having to cook for, a vegan at the holiday meal. Everyone's having to, have a kid's birthday party and have to provide vegan food. Like, it's just like, as people, I guess people, it's not an early adopter thing anymore. It just starts to spread into the mainstream, and then you get touched all the time by vegans, like I don't know, that sounds weird, doesn't it? But, like there's someone in your life that you've got to cook for, and, they want a recipe. Don't your friends ring up and say, oh my God, I've got a vegan child coming to the birthday party, what can I make them? Or, I just feel like we've moved past the early adopters into this great sort of mass, and it's just pushing. And I know that we were talking yesterday on one of the other launches, and they were saying how like a university in the Netherlands is offering vegan food first, and then if you want to ask for meat, you can. So it's a different idea where often plant-based people have been put in this position where they've had to ask for something different. This is like the meat eaters having to ask for something different, and I think that that's just putting a really different perspective on what's milk. I hate them talking about normal milk when they're talking about cow's milk.
What's normal?
What is normal anymore? Like,
what is normal for a cow?
Getting into the mass a bit more.
Yeah, no, I love that. Well, look, I'm going to try and whiz through some more of these. By the way, Brighton has a new vegan fish and chip shop. Jason is letting us know. Mushy peas. Only in the UK you're going to know how good that is to have vegan fish and chips and mushy peas. and a vegan Mr. Whippy on Brighton. And I know because I went there 2 weeks ago. First time I've had a Mr. Whippy for 35 years. So that was pretty good. Everybody's loving the pizza. Loving the pizza. Looks delicious. In the UK, I think offering a choice is driving the growth as well as the awareness of animal welfare and climate concerns as well. Another local vegan fish and chip shop, this one is in Somerset. Friends who are not veggie and vegan have started buying vegan because it's delicious. Cristiano says amazing. Greg says this show makes me feel so good. Oh, isn't that lovely? See, we need to do more. What an amazing guys you guys did. Well done, all of you. The 21-22 season for Forest Green Rovers is an amazing story. I mean, am I okay to keep reading these? I know we've got minutes to spare, but
let me just interrupt. The
yeah.
Forest Green Rovers, what they mean by that, I'm just reading Chris's comments, is that the Forest Green Rovers got promoted this year to Division 1. So that team is succeeding on the field as well as off the field, which I think is really interesting, which means they're at one level below English Premier League. So I can only imagine what would happen if they got promoted to the English Premier League as a vegan football club. Wouldn't that be a story? I mean, it already is a story, but that's just so extraordinary. And I think we cover athletes I know we cover athletes in the other episodes about how successful plant-based athletes are. So look out for that.
It's wonderful. Pizzas look fabulous, incredible. The debate in the past was often rightly about the shock and the horror of meat consumption, but this series appears to be about the positive aspect of tasty, sustainable food, a programme of its time. Wonderful comments, and I don't know, people can probably still send in their comments, and perhaps we can all see them at another time. But I'd like to say, as we're sort of fast approaching out of time, just super love and thanks to everybody. And thank you to Mick and Kate for allowing me to be a small part of it. I'm your biggest fan over here in the UK. Love you to pieces. Lucy, just absolutely lovely and inspirational. And Colette, just fantastic work, which is wonderful. I'd like to, I could chat all day. I really could chat all day with you guys a lot more. But I want to ask Kate, how can people see the series? When we've spoken about that, I want everybody to just sit back and relax and enjoy the rest of the series. But Kate, I'd love to hand it over to you.
Thanks, Karen. Yeah, so look, tell your friends about the series. It will be available for streaming on our website, eatingplants.tv. You can go there from tomorrow, actually Monday 9. So you can tell your friends and they can watch it from there. It is actually selling across different global television stations at the moment too. So if you join our social media, Instagram or Facebook, we'll keep you posted about that, and hoping it comes on to English television, some mainstream. We really want it to be mainstream. We worked hard to get it mainstreamish. And we also we have people helping with community screening. So if you want to host a screening in your school or office or community centre, you can play a few episodes, have a nice vegan feast, play another few episodes, and just I think a lot of people, they love the food, they just want to know more. We've really found that people around the world just want to know how to eat more plant-based, put more vegetables on their plate, and really, I think definitely after COVID, we're touched by how the world can change so quickly, and we do want to be activists and make a difference. And you can really do that by choosing what you buy and what you eat. So, follow us on social media. We'll keep you posted. And right now, we're going to watch the next 5 episodes. If you can stay around, just lay back on Sunday afternoon. Enjoy your Sunday afternoon, and make sure you've got something to eat because there's a lot of good food ahead. Thanks so much, Karen. You did a great job, Lucy, Colette, and we'll see you later. Cheers.